Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21 live here in the Sepang International Circuit for round 19 of this Moto3 World Championship. Grant's on pole position with a ridiculous lap time, with Costa and Mino join him on the front row, Rodrigo Garcia and Masia on the second, Toba, Suzuki, Sasaki, Antonelli, McPhee, Artigas, Guevara, Fenati, Salac, Binder, Alcoba, Foggia, Onchu, Yamanaka, Fallon, Dupasquier, Rossi and Yuki Kuni, with Carlos Tatai, Maximilian Koffler, Nepa, Fernandez and Farid Izdihar at the back of the grid. So we look to the lights. I'm concerned about this start, but we'll do what we can. Clutching and ready to go. A brilliant start from Grant. But what kind of start will the rest of the field get? You can see Mini on your right-hand side. The Comelin, Grassini have Gabriel Rodrigo through as well. Red Bull KTM IO team up in the inside as well. There's even a gas tag with Vara's there. Kaita, Toba, Suzuki. We are now down to 10th place going into turn 1. Exactly what I thought it would be. It would be a disaster going into turn 1. You can see Artigas getting out of his seat there. It might even be Foggia. And Darren Binder is right behind Grant, who had a dreadful qualifying. This is exactly what he wants as John McPhee tries to dive over the inside. No love lost between the Scotsman and the British rider. They have collided so many times this season and bound to do it again if both men's egos are still sky high. Now up into the inside of turn 4. Darren Binder's there. He'd like to have a move up at the inside of Grant, but Grant holds firm. He's into a Petronas Sprinter sandwich right now in their home Grand Prix. Funny enough, we'll be riding there next season in Moto 2, so I don't really want to upset the apple cart, and I certainly don't want to upset Razlan Razli, but never mind going up on the inside of John McPhee. If we can make the line stick in a moment, we might go around the outside. How about this one if we can make it stick? It doesn't look like we're going to be able to do it, but going into turn 7, we lost 10 positions going into turn 2. Can you believe that? I knew it was going to be difficult. I said it in the qualifying session, and I knew I was prepared for it, and it did happen here today. I'd rather been proven wrong, but unfortunately, we were proven right. Now, on the rear of John McPhee, with Darren Binder still there, he's going to be loving this. He had a dreadful qualifying, and to see me right there in front of him is probably going to do wonders, as Grant has to just literally pick up the motorcycle as Darren Binder's right there. He's poised and ready for a championship fight. Bearing in mind, ladies and gentlemen, it's only Darren Binder and Matt Grant that can win the World Championship in Moto 3 right now, as we... I definitely thought about going up at the inside of the dive bomb Darren, but going up at the inside of the Petronas SRT Honda there would have been a very silly move. We probably both would end up crashing out, and that's not how I want to try and win the championship, is by taking out the other opponent. No, sir. This is the biggest fear that I had in qualifying, and that is riders taking advantage of the slipstream and just getting past us willy-nilly, and it's happened again now into turn 15. Ethan Guevara, the Aspar, gets up on the inside, and there's just nothing we can do. We're going to try and fight back. We're going to pick him up in the corner, actually, and now try and go onto the slipstream of Nicolo Antonelli. Darren Binder has made moves. He's now up into 10th place, so after starting so badly in 16th, he's inherited 6 positions, and Grant has taken the opposite and gone down by 13 spots. We now are into 12th place after fighting back against Guevara and Artigas. We might be able to lean on Guevara's bike here and then chuck it up on the inside, going onto the left-hand side for turn 2 for the second time of asking. Now, bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is a rather long lap here in Sepang, so there will only be 9 laps of this magnificent circuit as we are now getting onto the rear of Nicolo Antonelli. We have Darren Binder in our sight. That is the only concern right now. It doesn't matter where we finish, as long as we finish ahead of Darren Binder. Now, we went a little bit wide into turn 4, lost a couple of tenths onto the acceleration behind Nicolo Antonelli, so that gap that we gained by going onto the brakes pretty late has disappeared already. Now turn 5 to navigate, get ready to flick it to the right hand side for turn 6. Now we're quite good on this particular corner because not everyone gets the same amount of speed as we do. We're able to stick with them on that one. The long flowing corners we're not too bad on, the short corners we are brilliant on, but the long straights, that's where we suffer from. And getting ahead of Nicolo Antonelli there and right on the rear of Darren Binder was a very, very crucial move. Going into the left-hand side now for turn 9, braking as hard as possible. We could try and dive over the inside of Darren Binder and scare him a little bit, shake him up as we just touch and make a little bit of contact to the Petronas SRT rider, but never mind, it's still okay. There's no sort of collision that we're going to stop him or impede his progress. We're just trying to just shake him up a little bit, give him a little bit of room, but let him know we're there. Just to put some pressure onto it, that's all we need to do. Coming up with the inside, but Kaita Toba's there as well. Contact made there. As Binder's going to go over the inside, is he? He can't get up in the inside of both of us. We're going to make a little bit of contact with Toba. As Darren Binder dives up at the inside. Brilliant move from Binder. Superb move from Binder. forcing Grant wide, forcing Grant to pick up the Husqvarna. That is exactly what you need to be doing. Oh my goodness, but because of that moment, Antonelli is now right on the slipstream and will probably go up on the inside or around the outside going into the final corner for turn 15. Shout out to Ethan Guevara on the left-hand side there. I seen you poking your nose in there. Just keep out of the business right now because this is some serious battling. Toba, Binder, Guevara, Artigas, Antonelli, Grant, everyone is getting involved right now, and this is awful for the championship. The pressure is most definitely on Grant and Binder right now. That's the biggest point to talk about right now. The rest of it is elementary. Who's going to win doesn't really matter. It's all about who finishes ahead between the Petronas SRT Honda of Darren Binder or the Husqvarna Grant as Kaito Toba gets aggressive into turn 2. But that's what you got to do in this situation. For Toba, he's battling for some decent positions here. He's having a good race, but you know he wants a bit more, and he has to get through on the riders ahead of him. Yumi Sasaki, the Tech 3 KTM's kind of holding Toba up as well. Binder's in there as well, but Binder got ahead of these two. So you know what we need to do? We need to follow suit. We need to get past these two riders, chase down Darren Binder, and give him a bit of medicine. Give him a bit of DrAce sort of medicine. We prescribe him 2 positions to be demoted as we dive up on the inside when we get the chance. Going on to the right-hand side for turn 6, we're going to be very close to Kaito Toba here as we line the bike up. We're going to square it off, go around the outside of a Yumi Sasaki if it's possible. Now onto the right-hand side for turn 7. Round the outside of Sasaki we go. Sasaki fights back. Beautiful stuff for the Red Bull KTM Tech 3 rider. He really fancies whatever position we're battling for right now, but I don't see why we're going so hectic into these couple of corners when we're so far behind the leaders. Less than 3 seconds separates Grant to the leader, Pedro Acosta. We are nowhere to be seen right now, but all we're focusing on is Darren Binder, but I'm trying to get ahead of Yumi Sasaki, Artigas and Toba, who just won't leave me alone. We do finally get past on the KTM, but now onto the left-hand side, we'll try and chase down Darren Binder, going into turn 12, turn 13 on the right-hand side of the tyre, and then turn 14 to try and square the motorcycle off and get into the rear of Darren Binder. We have closed in there really, really well, and we are now on the rear of the Petronas SRT Honda once again, right on the rear of Darren Binder, stalking him, just letting him know that we're right there and we can attack at any point. And you better well believe it, Darren, we're going to attack when we get the chance. And you know what? It's just to materialise. Going into turn 15, we have now passed Darren Binder. That is critical for the World Championship. That is exactly what we need to be doing right now, as you'd better believe he's probably going to attack us any moment now as we cross the line. We do set the fast lap of the Grand Prix with a 2:14.644, but forget about it. Darren Binder, right there on the right-hand side of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, is already back up into 8th place. Grant brave on the brakes going into turn 1. He'll chuck it onto the right-hand side. A little bit of a twitch from Grant on the hard rear as we now flick it on the left-hand side. Sergio Garcia, another Petronas SRT. John McPhee is ahead of us. We'll get onto the right-hand side now for turn 3. Continue to follow the riders ahead, and we might get a bit of extra slipstream. Darren Binder in 8th place right now. Providing he doesn't attack us once again, we might have dispatched of him. And if we've dispatched of him, all we need to focus upon then is finishing the Grand Prix. Now we close in extremely well onto the rear of John McPhee going into turn 4 there. Going onto the left-hand side for turn 5 and then the cutback on the turn 6. We might actually get ahead of John McPhee here. Sergio Garcia further up the road there, and Andrea Mino, he's there as well. But right now we're going to be lining up McPhee, square the motorcycle off and then go onto the brakes really deep and really late as we do get ahead of the Scotsman. Fantastic job there from Grant. Going into turn 7, brave and bold is what we've been all season. Staying ace and staying calm under pressure. We are delivering some final blows here to Darren Binder and the Petronas team. Now onto the left-hand side, getting very close there to Sergio Garcia. We dispatched of his teammate earlier on, Ethan Guevara, on board the gas, of course, as we now go into turn 10 in 7th place on the right-hand side for turn 11. I must say this hard option tyre, both front and rear, has come in a massive treat. On the line I did originally pick a soft front or a medium front, and last second I decided to jump onto the hard option front and rear. And so far, as we get super close there to Sergio Garcia, it's a good job I hit the brake just a little bit gentle there, just to make sure I didn't bump in to the side of the Aspar man. Oh, as we lift him up into the corner there on the exit of turn 14. Now into the rear of Andrea Mino, the number 16 ahead of us. As goodness me, John McPhee got a lot of speed there. We humbled him into turn 6, but he has fought back extremely well as he now goes up on the inside of the Aspar man, Sergio Garcia. We're going to get pushed wide a little bit here if we're not careful, but we're going to go for that wide line, then cut it up on the inside and get right ahead of John McPhee and go. Great stuff there for Grant. I tell you what, the hard option tyre is at optimal temperature right now. This is perfect for the rest of the Grand Prix. But look at the speed from Garcia and McPhee. They've just made a Husqvarna sandwich by sandwiching Grant right in the middle between the both of them. But Grant is brave on the brakes to go round the outside of John McPhee and up on the inside of Sergio Garcia. That is superb stuff. But McPhee fights back quickly. Dunlop tyre to the rear of Grant. I think his arm is now covered in Dunlop tyre. As we go on the right-hand side for turn 3, we do manage to stay ahead of John McPhee, and I do believe if we can stay ahead of them going into turn 3, just like we did on Darren Binder, should be able to maintain the position. Now on to lap 5. More than half race distance has been completed as we go on the right-hand side of turn 4. We will follow Andrea Migno now and try and keep away from John McPhee and the other riders behind him, because Darren Binder's not too far away from those, and of course being our biggest championship threat, we don't fancy getting more and more tangled with the Petronas SRT rider as we go up on the inside now, the VNE snipers. Oh, getting close there with Andrea Migno. Migno doing pretty well to hang back at the minute and try and stop us, but a contact made there between Migno and Grant. They have fought too many times this season as Grant gets the first track limit warning of the Grand Prix, but that is going to enable John McPhee back into the fight as he will try and get up on the inside going into the left hand side, but goodness me, Grant goes around the outside for turn 9. That was superb. Put that in the DrAce archive if you would. That was gorgeous. Beautifully done around the outside. Now onto the right hand side for turn 11. Nice tight apex is what's required here. Get the nice drive going near the rumble strip, and we have 4th place in our sight as we go on the left hand side for turn 12. Don't go on the rumble strip like I did there, because it gets a bit hazy. It does get a bit slippy, so just be careful if you do end up venturing onto the rumble strip. Another nice tight apex there as Suzuki dispatches of Yamamasi. A brilliant move there for Tatsuki Suzuki. The 658 Squadra Honda is now up into 3rd place. But you know Yamamasi wants to fight back. He's been superb in these last couple of races, and he looks to be doing something great here and getting himself back on the podium as he goes up onto the left-hand side and now into turn 15. He might be going for that cutback. We're going to be trying it as well if we can make it stick. But right onto the rear now of both Suzuki and Masia is a crucial slipstream that we desperately need. Going across the line, we didn't improve, but however, that is some good consistency for the past couple of laps. A 2 minute 14.6, a 2 minute 14.7, and the same again on the previous lap. We only missed out by 1,000th of a second from the previous lap time. So Masia did get ahead of Suzuki, and we aim to do the same now going into turn 2, which we do pretty well. Not going too wide, going to go for a nice tight apex into turn 2, and then the same here for turn 3 to get onto the rear of Yamamasi to take some crucial championship points. If we can get ahead of Yamamasi, that is 16 crucial points for the championship. That is extremely good. Now bear in mind, we can win the championship if we take first position. It's looking a bit out of reach as we dive over the inside of Yamamasi, but who knows what's going to happen for the rest of this Grand Prix. We have slowly chipped away at the lead, and we are only 2 seconds behind Pedro Acosta and Gabriel Rodrigo. We might have the inside line here for Yamamasi. You better believe we can go up on the inside for turn 6. That is beautiful. You know, we get so much speed on the change of direction there for turn 6. And then for the change of direction here for turn 7 on the right hand side, hold the line, getting ready to then square it up going on the outside of turn 8. That rumble strip is very treacherous, so try and avoid that. Go on the white line if you have to, but just avoid the rumble strip itself. Now onto the left hand side for turn 9, run it a little bit too deep, but I think we managed to save it pretty nicely. Now onto the right hand side for turn 10. The tyre degradation is looking pretty untouched right now. There's got to be at least 60 to 70% of tyre life in those hard option tyres, so that has been a bloody brilliant manoeuvre. I tell you what, that's an ace manoeuvre going for the hard option tyres. This is the first time this season we've actually used the double hard combination, and so far it's worked like an absolute charm. 7/10 of a second clear from Yamamasi, and bearing in mind guys, we were down to about 14th position in lap 1. This has been a tremendous comeback. In such a difficult track with very pressuring circumstances, we are shining here today, just like we did in Australia. So pressure is obviously not affecting Grant too much, but it is clearly affecting the other Petronas sprinter rider, Darren Binder. Now we go a little bit wide. I think I might have commentary cursed myself there, as I was just singing my own praises. We went wide into turn 15 and have just lost 4.5 tenths, maybe 5 tenths of a second now to the guys in front, which in turn has also given Tatsuki Suzuki another new life, another effect going for it, as Darren Binder makes his way up into 6th place now. So it's a good job we got the hurry on to get away from Darren Binder, because if he got any closer and we started battling, we might not be looking at a wonderful 3rd place. And I'll tell you what, the podium position after being in 14th position after lap 1 is an absolutely terrific result. It would give us around a 17-point to 18-point championship lead if things finish as the way they stand right now. That would be awesome. Going into Valencia, of course, anything can happen. Valencia is extremely unreliable. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's really bad. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm pretty confident in Valencia. I do love the track, but we still need to get the job done here. So let's focus on the task at hand as we change direction now, as we get a little bit of a track limit warning there. I do think it's a little bit harsh because I didn't really gain an advantage, but rules are rules, and we'll accept the additional warning, but thankfully there's no long lap penalty to be given as of yet. But we are closing in on Gabriel Rodrigo, not by a lot, but a couple of tenths here or there. But we have 3 or 4 laps remaining. We still have plenty of time in this Grand Prix, as we now brake very, very hard onto the left-hand side of the tyre for turn 9, closing in on Rodrigo. I tell you what, if we could get second place, with things stand at the minute right now, maybe a 20-point plus championship lead, that is critical. If we win, it's my understanding that we'll win the championship. That's how crucial this could be right now. If we have that extra bit of drive and a bit of momentum, we could very well be looking at winning the World Championship right here today. We might even be able to use the number 1 plate going into Valencia. But right now, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We still need to get the job done. We have 2 seconds gap to Gabriel Rodrigo and 2.5 seconds to Pedro Acosta. The 17-year-old has led this race from the second it started. Pretty much. I think going into turn 1 he was the most impervious on the brakes and did not yield a single position. I don't think anyone could thwart his momentum here today. He has been superb. I'll tell you what does concern me is Gabriel Rodrigo ahead of us. Every single time we have sort of engaged combat with him, someone's really come off negatively. He crashed last time out, or he's crashed before, I don't remember. He always crashes, and I always crash when I'm everywhere near him. Speaking about the Chang International Circuit, of course, that was a complete disaster as we fought with him and lost. And in fact, we both lost by fighting with him. But just taking a look at the timing screen on the left-hand side there, it looks like the Petronas SRT guys are absolutely battling. So there clearly isn't any team orders amongst the field there, as John McPhee is now ahead of Darren Binder, which is really not helping his championship charge. No idea why they've done that, but that doesn't really matter to us. We're focusing on the big picture right now, and that is potentially just taking 3rd place. You cannot be mad with another podium, and you certainly can't be mad with the conditions we faced here today. The hard option tyres was a gamble that has well and truly paid off. We're a second clear of Tatsuki Suzuki, and only 1.5 seconds away from Gabriel Rodrigo, so I'm guessing he didn't pick the hard option tyres because he's sort of coming back to us right now, and if we take his position, then it's practically signed, sealed and delivered for the World Championship to be DrAce's. We have roughly got 1 finger on it as it is, but if we can take second place, I'm going to say it's pretty much 2 hands minus a couple of thumbs and fingers. We're going to be very, very close, but I'll tell you what, we are closing in rapidly onto Gabriel Rodrigo. We might as well just go for second place and then just accept it. I don't think we're going to chase down 2 seconds to Pedro Acosta. If we hadn't made that mistake early on into turn 15, this might have been a different story. But then we would have been worrying about fighting with the 2 guys in front, and we would have been worrying about the championship. Things wouldn't have gone great, but I'll tell you what, John McPhee is on a charge right now as he now goes up into 5th place. Jaume Masia has sort of gone backwards in this session, not great for him, as the Spaniard will try and regain some momentum probably next time out in Valencia, as we now close in on Gabriel Rodrigo. Half a second lead Rodrigo has to 3rd place. So who knows what's going to happen, what we're going to do on this particular lap, but I tell you what, we're going to set a very good lap time here. We could be the only man into the 2:13s if this continues. Now onto the left-hand side, we're going to get closer and closer to Rodrigo, as there's a little bit of change on the timing screens. I'm keeping an eye on Darren Binder, not sure where he's going to be by the end of this lap. But across the line we'll go in a moment's time, and that is a 2:13.929 for the man on board the Husqvarna. The World Championship leader on the penultimate lap has increased the boundaries again and has gone for it. He goes all out every Grand Prix, and today is no exception. Now going into turn 2 on the left-hand side for the very final time. Closing in on Gabriel Rodrigo. The Argentine is probably feeling some pressure now, as Jaume Masia and Darren Binder are battling for 6th place and 7th, as Andrea Mino just pops up onto the picture there on the left-hand side of your screen, as we now close into Gabriel Rodrigo, braking nice and gently into turn 4. Beautiful entry there as we dropped it down to first gear to get a better drive out of the corner. We'll be going onto the left-hand side of the tyre once again for turn 5, and get ready for that change of direction in a moment for turn 6. We'll be right onto the tail of Gabriel Rodrigo going into turn 7, I'm sure of it. Coming out to turn 6, lining the bike up, getting a little bit wobbly onto the rumble strip, bit of a wheelie, but we're still okay. Braking very late for turn 7, and we didn't go quite into there as much as we wanted. We sort of slid the rear a little bit, but so there's been a crash behind. Oh, I double checked to see if that was Darren Binder. It doesn't look like it was him. Might have been Andrea Mino, as Darren Binder just gets 6th place ahead of Jama Masia as we close in on Rodrigo. Maybe we shouldn't engage. Maybe we should be smart about this and just accept 3rd place. It's 16 valuable points, but we want 4 more. We want 4 more points. We want 20 points. Getting right onto the rear of the Comelin Grassini rider. We could very well be in a battle here, but I think if we don't get past him before turn 14, he'll have the straights. He'll have the speed on the straights. There's no way we can get past him there. But 1.5 seconds the gap is to Pedro Acosta. We have done a grand job here. A grant job, if you will, as we almost lost the front there going into turn 14. We really need to just give this up and take 3rd place. It's fine. We're happy with 3rd place. It's great. The team must be going absolutely ballistic right now. Max Biaggi will be out of his mind knowing that Grant is in a massive battle here for 2nd place. Going into turn 15. Oh, Rodrigo took a very defensive line. He's messed that up. We're going to pick him up in the corner alongside Rodrigo. Now Rodrigo, oh, he's yielded. He's yielded the position, and Grant is going to take 2nd. Pedro Acosta wins, Grant 2nd, and Rodrigo takes 3rd. Brilliant finish for Grant, setting the fastest lap of the race on the penultimate lap and finishing in 2nd place. Inherits him 20 crucial championship points. Darren Binder, the nearest championship contender, only finished in 6th place. It's now time to look at the championship, and look at that championship lead. 22-point championship lead going into Valencia. There is only going to be one victor, and that is going to be Grant, providing he stays ahead of Darren Binder. The only way for Darren Binder to win the World Championship is if he wins and Grant crashes. What a massive amount of pressure on the South African shoulders right now. Taking a look at the Team Championship, and I cannot believe it, the Petronas Sprinter Racing Team in their home track have just lost the Team Championship lead to Red Bull KTM IO. They have dominated it all season, and right at the last 2 rounds, Red Bull KTM IO take the lead. Oh my goodness, this is hotting up. But I tell you what, guys, the only true winner here is Pedro Acosta. Brilliant stuff for him, but the true winner of this Grand Prix is Grant, taking a 22-point championship lead going into the final round. Magnificent season all the way through, and I cannot wait to see what Valencia holds in store for us. But guys, upon that note, thanks for watching as always. Like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload. And upon that note, guys, thanks for watching and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.